Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines here on this wonderful Friday. Right guys, today we're going to be giving you a bit of an update on the missing turbo. Haven't got a full answer yet, but we're getting there with it. But regarding the last video guys, just sieving through some of the comments there, I'm really sorry that some of you people think that this channel has turned from an informative technical channel into a drama channel. Always been a bit of a drama in this channel, and I think on the quiet, I think some of you like that. I think you like a little bit of the drama. Just going by some of the views, if I leave the drama out, the views are probably about a third of what we get when we do put a bit of drama in. So unfortunately guys, for you that don't like it, that's just what's going to happen. We all know that in real life with a business, you do get the dramas, you do get the problems, but it's at the end of the day, it's how you deal with them. If you have watched our videos from the very beginning, you will know that, I've said this a million times before, but you will know that a lot of the warranty and the comebacks, usually, probably 9 times out of 10, aren't down to us. And if they are down to us, we sort them correctly. So I'm quite proud really in the way that we deal with that. So we're not inundated with problems through our own fault. It's just the general running of a business. But like I've said to you before, that's what is different about our channel. A lot of channels, if you'll notice, that do this sort of thing, they'll never in a million years tell you about the problems that they have. They think it's a negative on your reputation. It will have a negative effect on your business, but quite the opposite with us. People tend to watch us. A lot of the work that we have now coming from the channel seems to be from people that watch us, have respect for our sort of honesty, and they know if there is an issue that we're going to be sorting out that properly. But at the end of the day, I might seem a bit goofy on here sometimes and sort of make out that we've got all these issues, but really we turn out a good product, I do believe. Going from there, we have Andrew's Cosworth here. So you can see it's all timed up guys, the cams are in. We put our cam lube on there. We've got the rocker cover gasket all ready to go on. And the next thing to go on this, apart from the sump, which is John has just gone to get from Tom Upton, had a little bit of a welding job done on it, but as soon as I get that sump back, that is going to go on. We got the rocker cover. The rocker cover that Andrew sent in was a bit rough. It looked to me like it had been sort of blasted and polished aluminium and then lacquered, but in fact once we got blasting, it was that sort of chromy paint underneath, so we got all that off. It's got a breather sort of connector drill and tapping in this side here. As you can see in that side, we've machined it for the pickup bracket that holds the pickup sensor, and then obviously on the inlet cam I have put the trigger wheel here, so once that sensor is in there, it's going to pick up dead in the center of that. Perfect, nice little mod. So Andrew's decided to go, although it's an Escort Cosworth, he's decided to go with the Sierra Red. Looks really, really nice and fresh. So what we do, just machine over the top. Now what I'm going to do is give this a clean. I'm going to fit that sensor there, the sensor holder, put our union back in here, and get this on, guys, and see what it looks like. So a little bit later on, guys, let's just get this one on. I'll tell you all about the update with the turbo business. What a nightmare. Right, guys, John and I, on this Friday afternoon and morning, we've got a bit of a change from the Cosworths. So this is the TVR block, got to go out to plus 20. So John is just honing it out. He's roughed it out now. He's just finished honing it. And then that block, once clean, is all done, which is ideal. And then we can do this Rover V8, which is just got to finish hone that. Got about 1.5 hours to come out the bores, and then he's all done. I am down here reboring a 200 TDI Defender block. It's a Landrover Defender, taking it out 0.5 mil. Now, the reason I'm showing you this again, I know you've seen the boring bar a million times, but I just want to emphasize why it's very crucial that we get the actual piston that we're going to be using just to finish hone it. And the reason for that, guys, is you would have thought that that is by measuring the bore, you'd think it would be a round figure, a 90.5. So 0.5 oversize would be 91. But when you actually check the book, the actual book here says it's 90.47, right? Which isn't quite 90.5. So if we go over to our calculator, we go 90.5 divided by 25.4, and this is give us the imperial size. We've got 3.563, okay? If we go to 90.47 divided by 25.4, it's 90.618. So that is 1.2 thousandth of an inch different, so just over a thou different in size. And if this thing is running, say for instance, it's running 1.5 thou, 2 thou running clearance, you could be down to 0.5 thou to 1 thou running clearance, which clearly isn't enough, guys. And you might find, well, it's no big deal, Lee, just go by what the book says. If it says 90.47, do it to that. Not exactly, because the original bore size might be 90.47, and then plus 5 would be 90.97, for instance, but the new aftermarket pistons might be 91. Therefore, it's going to be a thou, 1.2 thou difference. So for all you guys that don't understand imperial, I'm sorry again, I've converted from metric to imperial, but a thou in metric would be 0.025, so it could be 0.03 of a millimetre different, which is quite a lot in sort of clearance terms. So that, guys, is why we wait for the pistons to arrive. So what I've done to be on the safe side is I've bored it to 90.97. So if the new pistons come and they've rounded it up to 91 for the oversize, then I shall just hone out another thou or so. So it's not a big deal, but I would not like to let this go out going by the book. Must wait for the pistons. Right, one other job today, different from a Cosworth. We've got a cylinder head here for Paul Dove. Got to take 20, what's he got here? 25 thou off the top of that head just to get the compression up a bit and just cut the valve seats and probably check and face the valves there for him. And then round here, guys, Paul has bit the bullet. We have got a donor crank that we've got a dummy up to balance. The reason for that is because the crank is still in his Fiesta. So this is his rally car that we're doing it for. He's got the clutch cover here for us to balance. So what we can do, obviously it's not as good as doing the original, but if the crank is still in the car and you want to put another flywheel or clutch on, what we can do, if you've got a donor crank, we have got various donor cranks under here for stuff. We can dummy this one up with plasticine or just balance it, as a unit. Then we put the flywheel on and balance that. Then in theory, once it goes back on the engine, it's going to be pretty much in balance. So Paul has been out and treating himself to a nice light flywheel for the Fiesta. He was having a bit of an issue with second gear synchro, which I think he's going to get sorted. And then he can make use of them nice new tyres and hopefully do some rallies or maybe a track day or two. You never know. So we're just going to balance that, balance the clutch cover, and then he can pop that on his car and jobs are good in theory. So where are we with the missing turbo? Now, I've managed to get hold of Paul. So Paul Dove. Between us, we've sort of recapped what has happened from last week. Now, Paul was in Friday. I had it in my head that I'd boxed up the turbo Monday because I knew when I did it, Isaac wasn't here because he didn't get round to doing it, although I asked him. But he wasn't here Friday, but Paul was in. So what I did was take it off the manifold over there. I've took it off the manifold. I put the manifold and all the bits in a box, which have gone now. It's gone back to Kyle. And I put a big old Mar Motorsport box and put the turbo in there. I remember doing that. Now, Paul said to me that I'd put a big box over by the door, just about there. Now, I only ever do that once I've organised collection usually. So it's ready to go on that day. That's why I normally put it by the door. Whether I'd put it by the door, then meant to get hold of Vince, because usually Vince gets it picked up the same day as when I ring him or message him. Whether I got sidetracked and didn't do that, but Vince says that I didn't ring him. I've got no recollection of any missed calls or messages to Vince on my phone for the Friday. So I'm only assuming I didn't get hold of him. But Paul said between 12:30 and 1 o'clock when I was in the office for lunch, I was actually on the main phone. Paul's come in, and I do now remember him coming in and saying, "Is that box to be collected?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Is there a ticket. No, there isn't. When he's come back here, he said to matey about having no ticket, and he said, it's all right, I've got my own. And he was a DHL guy that had come from next door, so he parked his truck next door at Motor Parts Direct, come round, picked it up. I must have forgot that I hadn't mentioned, been in touch with Vince, whatever. Now, my only thought here as to what has happened is that we've had this in the past. Obviously, on the 3rd, that would be the 6th, on the Friday. On the 3rd, we had another turbo gone to Vince, which was Andrew's, which I did obviously organise. I can only think that DHL have got mixed up, thought that they hadn't picked it up on the 3rd, come to pick that turbo up. Only by coincidence, there's another turbo waiting to go that I haven't yet rang Vince about, and he's took that one. But where it is, I do not know. I can't think of any other reason. Turbo Performance use DHL. We don't use DHL, we use In Express. I would have a record if I'd have organised it, so I haven't. The chances, we had nothing else to go out. So the chances of a DHL guy coming in here, picking something up, disappearing, that's the only thing it's the only explanation I can come up with. So I've been in touch with DHL Express. It's not them. They got no recollection of the last 2 weeks of been picking up anything from here. So I tried to get in touch with DHL Parcel as Vince from Turbo Performance, and we haven't come to anything yet. I can't get hold of them because you need a reference number, which I haven't got obviously because I didn't organise anything, and I can't get to speak to a human. So I sent them an email waiting to hear back. So that's where we are at the minute, guys. It looks like it hasn't been stolen, which is good news, but where it is at the minute, I do not know. It's just one of those things that's all coincidence. So for all you people that put in the comments on the last video about us being sort of careless with the surprise things haven't gone missing, you know, at the end of the day, we don't let people walk in here willy-nilly. There's always someone in here, and if there isn't, we shut the big door. But it's very difficult to sort of keep the door shut because we're always in and out. Things are insured, but things like, you know, there is a lot of things in here that's sort of, it doesn't really matter about the money. They're just quite hard to get bits for. So, yeah, maybe we need to up our security a little bit. You're quite right there, I suppose. But up until now, we haven't really had anything stolen by the general public, apart from that Volvo block that I did a video on ages ago. So yeah, that's where we are at the minute, guys. I'll let you know any more if I hear any more. So there we go, guys. That is Andrew's engine all done. I did put a photo of this on Facebook last night on our business page and my personal page. Looks absolutely fantastic with the red rocker cover, the nice Hart inlet manifold. And this engine should create just over 500 horsepower, which will be absolutely lovely. Thank you very much. So Andrew's all paid up. I'm going to get this on a pallet, get it out to him on Monday. And that is another Cosworth done. Enjoyed doing that one, it was lovely. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Until Monday's episode, have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. Take care, guys.